whether it's in church, whether it's sometimes in the shower, in the bathtub now, with the bathtub Saturday nights is where it was. But precious Lord, thank you, my sister Pamela D.C. Jr., for that memory of Fannie Lou Hamer singing it at my father's service, because so much of it was a blur to me. I was not even 9 years old yet. But I remember that song because my great granny sang that song all the time. And I have it on automatic so many times. And so appropriate, we are here in God's house. And Pastor Williamson, thank you for having us here. Because I don't know anybody's faith, but let me just tell you, our family, Evans, Beasley, rooted in faith. That's the only thing that keeps us going. That's the thing that all have been doing when we sing the freedom songs. We call out to Him. And I'm not a pastor, so I'm not going to try to preach. But I tell you, as we are here today, we realize that we stand on these giants' shoulders. We lift them up, all of them, all of you. We honor, we pay tribute to the spirit of the courage and resilience that has been embodied not only in Fannie Lou Hamer, but all of the activists here and here. You know, Miss Uvesta Simpson, I did say Uvesta one time, so I'm just gonna own it. You are one of our guiding lights. We thank you so much. You know, it takes a village. There's not one person who does it all. Not one. We all contribute. We have to contribute. But what is one of the leading threads throughout the movement is empowerment, education, and understanding the steps that are needed for the power, and that is education and the vote. We have a wonderful example that spoke earlier, Congressman Thompson. He's owning the voting power. Thank you again. Fannie Lou Hamer, June Johnson, Arnell Palmer, Rosemary Friedman, James West, and of course, our warrior, Uvesta Simpson. For all that you went through, for all that you fought and continue to fight, you are our beacons of hope. We have seen, we try to embrace your courage and unyielding strength. You know, Vicki, and I'm going to give you all right with that, Vicki, you asked me to come up and do a remembrance. Well, I was 9 years old. I didn't remember too much. But let me tell you what I remember. Later on, meeting and being able to talk with the giants that are here and that are not here. But to talk with Fannie Lou Hamer, to talk and be friends and connected to the family. It's an honor. Their journey mimics so much of our family's journey. It was with great pride that the U.S. Postal Service did a postal stamp that had both Fannie Lou Hamer and Medgar Evers. And our congressman played a large part. You know, brutality can be inflicted on one's person. But when that brutality is inflicted on just one person, it resonates throughout the family. It resonates throughout the community. So family members, our family, our community goes out to all of you. Because it's not a moment in a day that those memories don't come flooding like this. Especially this season. And I am so happy that I can be with you this season and share with you the thoughts of my mother. And my mother said, their struggle did not go unnoticed. It never, ever, it reverberated across the nation, galvanizing a movement for civil rights that would take the foundations, that would shape the foundations of society. From the depths of despair, emerge a chorus of voices united in their demand for justice, equality, and dignity for all. She's in California, living in her season of almost 92. Her spirit is with you through me. Our love is with all of you. So let's be reminded constantly, what you will hear, you will feel today, that these are not just words, but we need to have action. Let us continue to pledge anew a cause of justice, empowerment for all, for us to grace this marker, to honor it as we go past, to honor it as we ask people to come up and know the stories, understand all of the parts of the truth, and move forward together. Thank you so much.
Most of our well-known leaders that came through Mississippi went through a course called Civil Rights Mississippi. And one of those was Andrew Young. I think we have a film, but he's going to have some words for us. Ambassador Young.
I was in Birmingham because we were in the middle of the Birmingham movement. And when we heard Mrs. Hamer had gotten arrested with an El Pondo who was on our staff, and it was like a who's who in SNCC that were pulled off the bus in Winona, and we decided, well, I didn't have a car, so Dorothy Cotton had a car, and I went to borrow her car and to go get Miss Hamer out of jail. And she said, I don't need you to get Miss Hamer out of jail. It's my car. I'm going to get Miss Hamer out of jail. And so James Bevel and I jumped in the back seat, and she took off about 70 miles an hour down a little curvy road between Birmingham and Mississippi. And she was mad because she said, we don't respect women, and she should be one to go and get Miss Hamer out of jail. And I said, Dorothy, you got a red dress on and high heel shoes. You don't need to be going to Mississippi jail. And she said, well, it's my car and I'm going. So we jumped in the car, and she was mad, and she was driving about 85, 90 miles an hour. And in the roads between Birmingham and Winona, Mississippi, they're pretty curvy and hilly. And she went down she came up a hill, and there were two big 18-wheelers coming, blocking the road. And she just barely pulled off the road and missed. And because she was mad, and she was driving too fast, and we said, see, please let one of us drive. And so Bevel was from Itabena, Mississippi. And Bevel said, look, the first thing you do if you go into Mississippi, he said, we need to stop and get gas. And I said, yeah, we don't need to be running out of gas in Mississippi. He said, no, that's not the reason. He said, we're gonna stop and get gas to let the man size us up. And he will call the sheriff and let him know we in the county. And he will say, yeah, they all right, or they not all right. And he said, so we need to stop at a little gas station. And Bevel was from Itabena, and he was one of, I think, 11 or 12 children. And he was a genius. He was crazy too, but he was a genius. And he understood white folk and black folk. And he went in and he said, Andy, you come on in with me. Well, I didn't have on a suit and tie. I had on old jeans and sweatshirt or something. And we went in, and Bell started talking about, how's the fishing around here? You know? And he tells them, I grew up in Itabena, down the road, I think Sunflower County, I'm not sure. And he said, we used to have some good catfish down there. And he talked about everything but civil rights. See? And the guys the white folk talked back to us. And so Dorothy had on a red dress and high heels, and she was fine and pretty. And she wanted to get some orange juice. And they didn't have orange juice in the gas station. So she saw a store about a half a mile down the road, and there she is walking down a Mississippi highway in a red dress and high heel shoes. And when we came out, we thought she was still sitting in the car. We saw her on the way down the road. We went by and got her. She got orange juice, but we made 2 stops. And the phone rang as soon as we walked in the door. And I heard the sheriff, and all he said was, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. And he was talking to Wiley Branton. Now, Wiley Branton was from Arkansas, and he was in charge of the voter registration project here in Georgia. But he was from Arkansas, and he talked like a hillbilly, and from Arkansas. And when I picked up, he said, you got a nigga there named Andy? He said, Andy Young. He said, Andy Young? The sheriff said, Andy Young? I said, yes, sir, I'm Andy Young. he said, here, your boss wants to talk to you. Well, he thought Wiley was white, and he thought he was calling from Washington. And he said, now nigga, shut your mouth. Only thing you got to say is, yes, sir. So I said, yes, sir. And he said, now, I think I have scared this man into letting you all go. He doesn't want any more trouble. He said, no, he said, yes, sir. I said, yes, sir. And I mean, we played this game with him cussing me out on the phone and me saying, yes, sir, for about 10 minutes. And then he said, now give me back to the sheriff. And I said, here you are, sir. You know, and I don't know what Wiley was saying to him, but he said, well, Wiley told me, I think I have convinced him that he's supposed to let you out if he doesn't want any more trouble from the federal government. See? And so he said, but now you be very polite and very calm. Don't show any emotion, and for God's sake, don't get mad. He said, I don't know what shape Miss Heyman and them are in. He said, but you might want to get, you might be. He said, this is the time to be cool. Say, well, he didn't need to tell me, and he didn't need to tell Miss Heyman, and he didn't need to tell any of the group. Miss Heyman came out first. And she and Anel were so polite, and they had been obviously beaten up. They'd been obviously beaten up or something. But other than Miss Hamer's limp, and she didn't look, I mean, she didn't look bad. And she thanked the sheriff, see? And so did Anel. And they had been both abused in some kind of way. And, you know, one of the questions is, did I discuss that with her? Hell no, I didn't discuss it. I didn't want to know what happened to them. I didn't want them to think about it again. I knew they had been through hell for the last 2 or 3 days. And when
and their son,
Lawrence gave out.
Sylvester Simpson and Jim Johnson.
Yeah. Well, the one I worried about the most was, I think, one of the girls, a very pretty girl, had been separated from them and put in a cell by herself. And she was the one I worried about most. And because I think whatever they did to her, they didn't beat her. And I think that was probably more harmful to her than if they had beaten her. But I think she kind of left the movement after that. And, you know, you couldn't blame the people who were trapped in jail for what happened to them in jail. And the only thing that I got from Ms. Hamer and Anel, they kept saying, thank you very much. Thank you very much. They were just so gracious and polite. And I found out that the reason they were beaten when they first got there was they wouldn't say yes, sir. And they wouldn't say yes, sir going out. They said, thank you very much. They were very gracious. They were smiling. See? And we got them out of there. And but it was Wiley Branton who pulled the trick as far as I'm concerned. And I don't know who he was talking to in Washington or back in Atlanta or in Arkansas.
Where was he actually calling from?
He was calling from Atlanta, I thought. But see, Wiley was from, he was not even, I think he was from outside of Little Rock. I mean, he really was a country Negro that looked white and talked white. And he got a wonderful family, but he saved asses that day.
When the folks talk, they tell the truth. They tell the whole truth. Now, we have to thank the Mississippi Humanities Council and these Mississippi Freedom Trail markers because they are constantly telling the truth and the history all throughout the state of Mississippi. So when someone comes through and they want to know about us, they see these historic markers. They talk about freedom fighters. You know, one of the hardest things that I always talk about is that they taught folks how to organize, strategize, and mobilize. We've lost that. We've lost that because we're looking for the magazine covers. We've lost that fighting spirit. They had it, all of them. So we want to thank, and as John Span comes up, thank the Mississippi Humanities Council for the work they've been doing.
I think it's still morning, so good morning to all of you. Thank you for being here. Can you just give yourselves a round of applause just for showing up? I do have to start off by saying my name is John Span. I'm the Program and Outreach Officer for the Mississippi Humanities Council, where Dr. Stuart Rockoff is the Executive Director. And I just want to thank the staff, Kamisha Hoskins over there as our Communications Director. And I also want to thank Visit Mississippi and Maggie Lowry and Rochelle Hicks and all that they do. We are working together, the Humanities Council and Visit Mississippi, to expand the Freedom Trail from just 32 when we just started. Now we've added 37. So 37 new markers. So this is great, right? This is all we're doing 5 new unveilings this month. This is the second of this month to kick off. We kind of fondly saying the Freedom Summer campaign of the markers. So we had the unveiling of Henry Reeves marker in Benton County and Ashland, Mississippi on the 4th, and today we're unveiling this marker. So this has been a great labor of love. I also want to thank the community of Winona and Bridging Winona. This marker would have never happened without y'all. And definitely without the push of Ms. Vicki Roberts-Ratliff. So let's give her a that community piece is the main reason why the Humanities Council is here working with Visit Mississippi. We do have the capacity to go out in the community, we have contacts throughout the whole state. And so we have the wherewithal to go out and meet and bridge together communities to help tell their own stories. These markers, as Ms. Serena Evans had said, these are empowering, educating, and bringing understanding to communities, right? She had mentioned how this history is doing that and how this is important. These markers are helping to do that. And also, we're talking with Vicki, I know, like, if y'all know her, y'all know that she's a dynamo. She has always got her hand on the plow. She's always thinking of something. I met her 2 years ago, 2 years ago, and she walked me through the streets of Winona, and next thing you know, we had ideas for grants. We got those grants. She got those grants here to Winona, got monies here to help tell this story of the brutality in Winona, help tell Ms. Bessel Simpson and Ms. Vanderwood Hamer's story. So we're just proud that we are able to help uplift the stories from the ground. You know, we want to be out front. We want to make sure that the communities are the ones that get the credit. So thank you again for all the work that you do. Lastly, I would say a special thank you to Davis Howe and Mr. Bessel Simpson for writing the marker. They actually put time and effort into doing research. We got the right pictures. We've been talking to all of it for a whole year. We've been planning this and working this out, edit by edit by edit. And it's just such a pleasure to give someone who went through this struggle their flowers while they're living. You know, there's so many civil rights veterans that did not get a chance to get this recognition. So we thank you, and we also want to honor Mr. MacArthur Cotton as well. Because, as we said earlier, without the grassroots effort that y'all were part of, there would be no Mississippi civil rights movement, right? Before we unveil, I do want to say that this is another nod to Ms. Simpson. We are going to be doing, well, I know it was mentioned that this whole connection was because they were going to South Carolina for training on Johns Island and all of that. So it's letting you know that this work wasn't just done in silos. It was all interconnected to make a better America, right? Make America what it was on paper, right? As Martin Luther King said. And so this work and these young people who we have on the roll here were connected to people like Henry Reeves and Medgar Evers and folks on the coast like Lawrence Guillot, all across. And then they were also connected at the National Convention in 1964. And so I'm proud to say that we will be unveiling the first marker, the first Mississippi Freedom Trail marker outside of the state on August 20th in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And so we'll give that round of applause. We hope to have people like Ms. Sylvester Simpson. I know we've been working on trying to get you there. Dr. Les McLemore and Dr. Roy DeBerry, who were a part of the 1964 Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party efforts in that convention. And so with that being said, we want to do a roll call, and then I want to bring up everyone who had a part in making this marker what it is, getting it here to Winona. And also want to just put a thank you to the Mississippi Department of Transportation, MDOT. They're going to be mounting the marker next week. So we want to thank them for their efforts as well, doing that without any charge or anything like that. So we bring everybody on the program, if you can. Maybe if you're able, please come up, and we're going to all pull the marker together, pull the veil together. Ms. Junior, Michael, Ms. Evers, Congressman Thompson, Maggie, if you want to come up too. Let's get Ms. Simpson.
Take a minute to recognize everyone. I know you just called him Matt Cotton. I'm talking about you. Matt was he's my dear friend. We've known each other since the early 60s. And he was in a car accident. So he is in Winona recuperating at the, I can't remember the name of the place. And he called me up and he said, I just saw a flyer about this unveiling of the marker when I went to the office to ask about something. Is there any way you can get me some information about this? And so I did that, and then I got Vicki in touch with her, and then she said, I'll get him over here. So I want Vicki, you do it, you just do so much.
If we can get some of the family members as well. Yes. Okay. Cool. And now, we want to take time to honor all who were arrested. As you see on the printed program, we have all the names of the roll, on the roll who were arrested. We have Annelle Ponder, who, her daughter is here. Thank you. Make sure that she is, Miss Carol Ponder is her daughter. Thank you for being here. No. We have on the roll also Rosemary Freeman Massey, Ms. June Johnson, Mr. Lawrence Guillot, Ms. Fannie Lou Hamer, Mr. James West, and Ms. Sylvester Simpson. All right, we are going to, I guess, count from 5 to 1. I'm gonna wait till y'all pull the vote.
5, 4.
Wait.
Okay.
Go ahead. They were serious, man. I want to keep that thing a secret. Scissors, no scissors? Okay, all right. All right, let's count from 5 to 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we have the front of the marker that you see right now, and then on the back we have a full story with photographs and from Miss Rebecca Simpson, Davis Howard from their research. And we just thank them and thank the city of Winona and Bridget Winona for their work and effort in getting this done. So let's give them a round of applause. One more thing. We in the Humanities Council hope that the city of Winona and Bridget Winona continues to work with the Humanities Council to get funding for grant programs to help continue to tell the story. We don't just want to put this piece of metal in the ground. We want to make sure that the city is working to get funding to help tell the story, to help bring people like Miss Rebecca Simpson here to continue educating, empowering, and hopefully bring healing to the city of Winona and across Mississippi. So thank you again.
What a wonderful program. To end our program, we have one more thing, because there are lights all throughout the state of Mississippi, these people. So if we could have Miss Yolanda Eccles to come up and walk us out the building and just get with this little light of mine. Thank you so much. Is she here? Okay.
Yes, okay. Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer was a leader, strong, not gonna back down, a powerhouse, sick and tired of being sick and tired, passionate Black woman, and I, Yolanda Moore Eccles, am proud to represent her in the stage play, Voice of Freedom. Hope to see you there today at 2 and Sunday at 2. Join me in singing This Little Light of Mine. Now, I'm used to having the cast behind me, so I'm going to depend on you all to sing this song with me, okay? This little light of mine, you know that I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine now, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, you know that I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it oh, everywhere I go now, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, everywhere I go now, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, you know that I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it oh, Jesus gave it to me now. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, Jesus gave it to me now. I'm gonna let it shine. Jesus gave it to me. You know that I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
And this ends the program for all that can come see the play at 2 o'clock. Please do. reception right after, I think, where is it? In the fellowship hall. Thank you so much.